generations. The Four Tops. Hit after hit. This is the original music for the Big Chill generation. This exclusive offer featuring the greatest hits of the Temptations and the Four Tops is available on 3 LPs or 2 long-play cassettes, and now on double-length compact disc. To order, call 1-800-468-5200. Reach out, I'll be there. Just my imagination. My girl, baby, I need your lovin', and the same old song. TNT, the Temptations and the Four Tops. Their greatest hits. Available on 3 LPs.
Broadcast, and we should have another great game here tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mike. We finally get together.
Yes, I've been bugging you all season for this, haven't I?
Yeah.
And we finally nailed you down, but the Weber State beat is...
Utah.
And Utah State beats really had you down, right?
Yeah. Well, not really doing anything at the moment, though, because the seasons are over. So, it's back to hockey.
And a couple of beers up here in the booth, and you'll be all set, right?
Correct.
Okay, as you look at your KRSP radio dial in the first period, Eagles going from your right to your left. Salt Lake against Denver, Rick Hayward, Jim Johansson, and Peter Lapp in the forward line, and immediately playing the Denver zone, and the rookie Jason Moore clears but not out. Eagles hold it in. Lacerda drive that hits the Denver player in front. Rangers come up with it, and here is Kevin Miller. Ahead for the leading scorer, Simon Wheeldon, poked checked on right wing, and Jim Johansson able to float it to the Denver defense, where the youngster out of St. Lawrence University, Michael Hurlbut, able to clear to center. Eagles have possession. Here is Chris Biotti, shoots it ahead for Jim Johansson. Into the Denver zone, he's in, he shoots. Stick save by Richter, and immediately we're going to have a penalty as Derek Martin, our referee, is going to call a cross-check, and here we go. James Loddish and Rick Hayward pushing and shoving to the near side of the linesman, Rob Larson and Steve Metcalf in the separate. Right off the bat, we have a cross-check against the Denver team and a Salt Lake power play, I believe. In addition, we have more activities along the here tonight. Eagles, during the regular season, operating at 21%. John Phelan of Pleasant Grove, a contestant on our Hardy's power play. Eagles' Dave Ryerson at the right point. Spins it along the near side of the right of the Rangers cage. Back to the left point for Chris Biotti. In front for Randy Busick. Right point for Dave Ryerson. Left wing for Biotti. He shoots. Ooh, and he just missed by a whisker. It caroms to the right wing point. Ryerson moving in. Hands it free for Randy Busick. Right point Ryerson. Hands it free to the left wing point Biotti to Ryerson. Hands it far corner for Busick. Tries to center one. Ranheim crashing for the goal. Couldn't control it. The net has been dislodged in the Ranger zone. And it's opposite play. A minute games this season. Went 30-9 at 2.93 goals again. Never played in postseason. So with the game on Tuesday, it was Gannett's first ever playoff win. And he was very convincing in the victory, making 26 saves on 27 Denver shots. Here's play at center. Chris Biotti leaves it for Brian Glynn. Up ahead on right wing, Eagles able to tip it into the Denver zone. And the goaltender himself, Richter, plays it on left wing, but not out. Chernomaz holds it in. Into the corner for Paul Ranheim. Ranheim able to play it for Chernomaz. Into the far hash marks. Chernomaz down for Salt Lake. Holding on to that puck. Right point for Glynn, moving in. His shot, ooh, and it just deflects, may have grazed off the left goal post. Here the Eagles trying to center one, but tipped away by the defenseman, Peter Laviolette, and all the way down into the Salt Lake zone. Eagles have to go back. So Laviolette, who's been nursing an injury, is on the ice for the Denver team. He's their captain. Eagles cleared on left wing for Peter Lappin. Into the Denver zone. Lappin trying to center one. Feeds it far corner for Levens. Cut off by Stefan Brochu. Eagles Lappin controls. Here's Peter Lappin. Back to the point for Chris Biotti. In front for Johansson. Right on, and Richter, a glove save. And he's able to make the stop with 2:15 gone into the opening period, and more pushing and shoving in front of the Rangers cage. And Joe, it just where they picked off as the night progresses. That's so tired traditionally. A little bit late on the lineups, actually. Eagles try and work it free. Chernomaz back to the point. Ryerson. His drive, bad save made by Richter. Eagles try and work it free to the right wing point. Ryerson shot flag down to the defense in LaRock. Able to play it into the neutral zone, and Jansen slides it to the Salt Lake defense. Here's Chernomaz back for Salt Lake. Spins into the neutral zone. Left wing for Busick. Into the Denver side. In front for Chernomaz. Cuts in. He shoots. Gate save made by the goaltender Richter. He's been sharp early. The Eagles try and work it free for Ranheim as the penalties expired. Eagles fail to score in Denver. Able to dump it into the center ice area. And Ryerson pirouettes at his own defense. Left wing for Jim Levens, ahead for Johansson at center. Poked away by Miller, and Levens back the other way. Into the Denver zone, fires, glove save Richter, and he holds on with 3:04 gone into the first period. It's been also Lake Joe with the Eagles pouring the shots on Mike. He suffered a knee injury in the game on Tuesday night when Rich Chernamaz was given a boarding penalty. So Bloomberg is out for the Denver team. Eagles at center control the puck, and Jim Levens has possession in the neutral zone. Into the Denver territory, pops it far corner Ranger zone. Eagles Samard in a forecheck. Bureau also trying to dig it free, but Janssens breaks back to center. Janssens with Ladish and the defenseman Larocque. Bureau back the other way to poke check it away, and the Eagles break back. Here's Grimson at center. In with Samard. Grimson moving in to Samard. He cuts in, but he can't pull the trigger. And Richter himself plays, but Grimson steals. Sharp angle shot, stick save Richter. Rangers clear it all the way down. Levens back after it, and as he touches it, icing is called against the Denver team. Mike Barrick alongside Joe Baird from the Salt Lake Tribune. Janssens now says hello to a couple of Eagle players, and here we go. Janssens and Kevin Grant was back there. Grimson and Samard as well. As we have a melee back behind the net. We'll keep it here for just a moment as we have pushing and shoving back behind the goal. And I talked to Stu Grimson, Joe, before the game, and I said, is it strange playing against Mark Janssen? Of course, he was injured in that scrap with Martin Samard, and they said it was kind of strange, but the way Janssens was throwing his weight around in game one, you can't just let him take advantage of it.
Tuesday night, he picked up right where he left off. If he was well, there they go.
I think that's James Ladish and Stu Grimson in a headlock. Grimson trying to throw a right hand. Ladish has him tied up. They're in close quarters. And Grimson throws a right hand. They still are nose to nose. Grimson throws a couple of lefts. He continues to flail away. As they're nose to nose back of the Ranger goal, he continues to throw right hands. But I'll tell you what, Ladish throws a couple of rights. And Stu Grimson, the IHL's living penalty player, and the second-year fraud of Portland of the Western Hockey League, James Ladish, still trying to get through some punches. The linesman letting them go to it. Ladish throws a right hand. Grimson trying to fight back. They're still in a headlock back there. And finally, they're separated. They're tired right there in front.
Well, that was kind of interesting the way it started. Routine icing call, and I don't know what was said down there, but it was something that was said because there certainly wasn't any contact.
No, and all of a sudden they just dropped their gloves and went to it. But it all started, I think, with Janssens, who was involved right back to the net as well. Now,
and I think it now we've got some
and
more.
let's see, Chris McCrae, who is not popular among the Eagle players, he was not in the lineup on.
Not necessarily to land in the penalty box, but to play more aggressively. We're going to see if they pay for it eventually.
Here is Simon Wielden in his center ice. Tied up, shoots it to the Salt Lake defense, and Lappin able to leave it for Rick Lessard. 4 minutes gone, first period, a scoreless game. Eagles have had the better of the play so far, but Jason Moore for Denver feeds it rink wide for the former teammate of Peter Lappin, Michael Hurlbut, who jumps into the Salt Lake zone. Eagles Lappin controls, far hash marks, clears one. We're going to have another penalty, a rough infraction on the far side in the Salt Lake end, and I believe it's going to be against the Salt Lake Tribune alongside. I'm Mike Barrick. 4:12 gone, first period, a scoreless game. Rick Lessard, 2 minutes for roughing at 4:12. So we have had a lot of activity as far as the penalties are concerned here in the opening period. But no scoring so far. Rangers during the regular season operating at 23% with 100 power play goals in 1988-89. Scoreless game. Rangers with the man advantage. Michael Hurlbut able to feed it rink wide for Simon Wielden. Ahead on left wing for Kevin Miller. In for Simon Wielden with Jason Moore in front. Wielden to the right of the Salt Lake goal. Trying to feed one in front for Miller. A shot here to side by the goaltender Gannett. Right point Moore. Hands it to Hurlbut. Left point his shot. Hits the stick of Broughton. And let's see. I think he's going to call a high stick against Broughton as he touched that.
Last year that gelled at the right time and peaked in the playoffs. This year you've got that same skill back with another year experience. Plus, the players they've added in the interim. So it's a much better team.
Face off to the left of Mike Richter. Salt Lake shorthanded, you'll recall. Salt Lake scoring a record-setting 30 shorthanded goals in 1988-89. The leader in the IHL on the ice right now, Jim Johansson. He scored 8 shorthanded tallies during the regular year. Rangers control the puck in the center. Jason Moore right side for Paul Broughton. skips it back at the Salt Lake net where Ryerson plays on the boards on right wing where Ranheim able to deflect it all the way to center, and the Rangers have to go back. In their own side and controlling the play is Jason Moore, losing possession. Eagles working on goal. Ranheim just deflects it wide. Actually, it was Miller who lost possession of the puck, and now he recovers in the Ranger zone. Here's Miller into center with Broughton and Simon Gagne on left wing. The pass for Gagne a little bit off the mark. Eagles try and work it into center. Johansson is checked, and the Eagles have to go back in their own side of the ice. Here is the Eagle defenseman Glenn ripping into the Ranger zone, and the ex-U.S. Olympian Peter Laviolette out of his own side. On right wing for Denny Larocque out of his own side for Denver. Shoots into the Salt Lake defense. Ryerson plays, but not out. Laviolette steals. His shot going over top of the net. 30 seconds to go in the penalty. Eagles break to center. Clear-cut breakaway for Chernomaz. He's in. He shoots. Pass save, Richter. So Chernomaz stopped in the shorthanded bid. And the best scoring chance of the night for Salt Lake. Here's Laviolette in the scoreless game. Shoots into the Eagles' defense. Flicked away by Jim Levens to the blue line. And Larocque pirouettes before feeding for Shudra. His pass picked off by Chernomaz, who's able to tip it all the way to the Ranger zone. 5 seconds left in the Lassard penalty. 13:50 left, scoreless first period. Here it's play at the Salt Lake defense. Levens after it. Back in his own side of the ice and controls the play. Here's Jim Levens on left wing for Mark Holmes. At center ice for Mark Bureau. Tipped away by the forward Lacroix. So Daniel Lacroix in his first game for the Denver team. Eagles, Biatti able to flip it to center. Rangers break back, and Lacroix clears it all the way through. And Gannett sets it up for Chris Biatti. On right wing for Martin Simard. At center, passing for Mark Holmes into the Ranger zone. Back after it is Ferrantino. Eagles into forecheck. Holmes runs into Ferrantino. We're going to have another penalty, and I think it's going to be called against the Denver team. A rough against the Ranger defenseman Ferrantino in the Denver zone. 6:45 gone into the first. A scoreless age on a Sault Ste. Marie of the OHL. 2 minutes for roughing at 6:45. Salt Lake on their second power play chance of the hockey game. Busick with Ranheim and Chernomaz up front. Biatti and Ryerson on the point. Biatti hands it in front for Busick, taken away by Jason Moore, and on his backhand clears outside the blue line and into the Salt Lake territory where Biatti has to go back. Up ahead for Rich Chernomaz. Angles into the Denver zone. Left wing for Ranheim with 68 regular season goals, and on goal he shoots. Save, Richter. Pass save. Loose in front. Biatti a drive. 6 save. Rebound. Richter stops the second player. Here's Ryerson a shot. Pass save. Rebound. And he stops the Ranheim in front. Unbelievable pressure in the Denver zone. Another penalty coming up against the Rangers. Chernomaz takes over. Top of the circle. Left point Biatti. 6 attackers. Empty net. Biatti at the left point. Hands it in front for Lappin. Lappin trying to send him. Larocque takes over, and let's say what the call is going to be. A cross check and unbelievable pressure, Joe.
See if the Eagles can dent him here.
Talking to Doug Sotart, the Ranger coach, he said, you know, you would think that Richter would be shaken up facing an average of 40 Salt Lake shots per game, but he says he thrives on the shots. He loves it, and he's a very, very competitive goaltender, and he says he only learns more by facing so many shots.
Yeah, I think we found that out about him with a season ago, too. And you're absolutely right. He does thrive on this type of situation. Goaltenders are like that. Some goaltenders would rather have those 40 shots drilled at him, keeps him in the game, and it provides a challenge.
Eagles send out Busick with Lappin and Ranheim on the points. Biatti and Ryerson. A 2-man advantage with 12:32 remaining in the first. Rangers Richter himself plays on the boards, but not out. Ryerson at the right point. Left wing for Chris Biatti, right wing for Ryerson. To the point, Biatti hands it free for Ranheim. Centers in front. Richter gets a piece of it as Busick was breezing in the slot. At the right point, Ryerson for Salt Lake. Left wing, Biatti. His drive, stick save, Richter. Rebound, Ranheim. He can't get a good shot off, and Broughton able to tip it into center ice. Broughton with Wheeldon and Jason Moore, the only 3 Rangers on the ice in the whole play. With the top of the circle, Eagles have won 5 consecutive playoff games dating back to their 4 straight against Flint in the Turner Cup Finals a year ago. Here's Biatti, feeds it rink wide for Ryerson. Up ahead for Ranheim. Into the Denver zone, but poke check by Miller, who's able to dump it all the way down. Eagles Ranheim has been nursing a cold, and I'll tell you what, he may be bothered a little bit here tonight. Eagles break back. Here's Ranheim into the Denver zone. Flying through. He stops. Trying to wheel it into the corner for Levens. Rangers, Miller trying to clear off, but Levens trying to hold in. Finally, a good play by Miller on his knees to clear the zone, and Biatti has to go back. There's 12 seconds left in the Ferentino penalty, and Biatti speeds to center. Crosses the blue line. Ranheim trapped in offside. Gagne knocked him down, and the whole play with Milwaukee. The Admirals over the Kalamazoo Wings by a score of 4-3. So the Rangers, or I should say the Milwaukee team, winning in overtime to take a 1-0 series lead. First player out of the penalty box, Ferentino back on. Eagles with just a one-man power play. Here is Glynn into the Denver zone for Rick Hayward, trying to shoot one. Pad save Richter. Samard in front for Bureau. Pass a little bit off the mark. At the point, Lessard unable to hold in, and he has to slide it back for Brian Glynn. Slams it into the Ranger zone. Ricochets to the right point. Good play by Lessard to hold in. Hands it in front for Rick Hayward. Cuts in the slot, but the whole play whistled out on a high stick in the Denver zone to the chagrin of the hometown fans. 9:17 gone into the opening period. Now we're going to have a scrap here. Ferentino and Rick Hayward. They're in a headlock to the right of the Rangers' goal. Hayward throws a left hand. Ferentino trying to fight back. Ferentino throws a left hand. Hayward trying to get his glove, his left hand free. They're still in a headlock. Back of the Rangers' net. Hayward trying to throw a right hand. Ferentino trying to fight back. They're still nose to nose. Back of the Rangers' goal as Derek Martin tries to separate all of the players. Ferentino throws a left hand. Hayward trying to fight back. Hayward with the Golden Eagles trying to throw a left hand, succeeds. Ferentino trying to fight back. They're still nose to nose in a headlock back of the goal. Hayward throws a couple of uppercuts, can't get his right hand through, and finally the linesman in to separate. And Joe, if you're the linesman back there, Steve Metcalf and Rob Larson, you're not going to separate Stu Grimson and James Gladys, who in this case the Ferentino under 11 seconds, and for 1:49, Denver will have the power play. In the first game, as we've talked about, 1 for 11, a meager 9% on the man advantage situation. Eagles, Chris Biatti on defense. Also Rick Lessard, the forwards, Randy Busick and Jim Johansson. Simon Wheeldon, Jason Moore, Peter Laviolette, and also up front Kevin Miller. Stu Grimson going back to the box here is play at the right wing point. Laviolette shot to flex wide. Wheeldon back of the goal, trying to work it free. Johansson feeds it right side for Rick Lessard, and he backhands all the way to center. So the player, let's see, the rock out of the penalty box. Denver with the man advantage. Here's play at center. The Eagles clear it into the Ranger zone, and Richter himself plays it for Jason Moore. Rangers with the man advantage. Moore at center for Simon Wheeldon. Across on left wing for Laviolette. He drills it into the Salt Lake zone at the near hash marks. Here is Miller for Denver, trying to maneuver through. Back to the right wing point for Jason Moore. Hands it for Peter Laviolette into the corner for Simon Wheeldon. Lessard able to knock him into the corner, and Wheeldon comes up to the puck. Back to the right wing point for Moore for Denver. His shot blocked off by Johansson. Into the corner, James Gladys for the Denver team. Trying to center one. Gladys kicks it free to the near hash mark. 57 seconds left in the penalty. Laviolette drives one high off the glass. They fight for it to the near side, and Johansson drills it all the way to the Ranger zone. Richter himself plays it for his own defense. 9.5 minutes left, first period, a scoreless game. Rangers, 40 seconds to work on the power players. The dangerous Paul Broughton into the Salt Lake zone. Broughton trying to dig it free, but he was unable to get a good pass to the point, and Hurlbut has to scamper back in his own side. Here is Michael Hurlbut, the rookie out of St. Lawrence, on left wing for Jimmy Larocque. At center ice into the Salt Lake zone for Brett Walter. Into the corner. Walter for Denver, trying to work it free. It's worked back to the right wing point. Larocque trying to feed for Lacroix, but cleared away by Salt Lake and all the way down. 9 seconds left in the penalty against Rick Hayward. Eagles have to go back, and Gannett himself able to play up the left wing side, but not out. Rangers, Larocque holds it in. Eagles, Grimson out of the penalty box as he served that minor penalty. Eagles have killed it off. Here's play at center. Samard can't catch up to the pass, and Larocque save Richter, and the Rangers come up with it. Laviolette on right wing, passing it free for the forward Ron Shudra. He backhands into the Salt Lake territory as the team's changing lines very quickly. Busick into the Denver zone. Can't get by Laviolette, and Ranheim cutting through. His pass broken up, and the Rangers control in their own side. Flipped by Denver into center ice, and Ryerson has to go back. 7:24 left in the opening period, a scoreless game. Rangers Larocque has possession at his own defense. Here is Denny Larocque for the Denver team on right wing for Simone Gagne. In this fast-paced first period, Rangers Wielden into the Salt Lake zone, trying to drop it. Gagne, poke check, the Eagles break back. Two-man rush to center, Lappin and Ranheim. Lappin hit squeezed by Larocque, who throws him down. Fans looking for a penalty, but Derek Martin watches him passively. Denver control the puck at center, and Brett Walter shoots into the Salt Lake defense, and Levens charges back the other way. Right side for Lappin into the far corner Denver zone. Centers, but beautifully picked off by Kevin Miller. Leads it for Shudra down the left side. He's shot, deflects wide. At the right point, Broughton trying to center one. Tipped away by Peter Lappin, who breaks back for Salt Lake. Lead pass for Mark Bureau into the Denver zone. Fires. Glove save, Richter. He holds on. 6:28 left in the first. A scoreless game. This is Eagles hockey on KRSP.
The folks at Larry H. Miller Toyota do more than sell you a great Toyota. They help you keep your Toyota running at its peak with genuine Toyota.
Team for the Tribune all of last season. Busick along with Johansson and Chernomaz up front. Rick Lessard and Chris Beatti on the defense. Here are the Eagles. Chernomaz feeds it for Chris Beatti, moving through. Beatti cuts in the slot, then fires. Stick save made by Richter. Chernomaz, far hash marks, trying to work it for Busick into the corner. Busick for Salt Lake, left point for Chris Beatti, moving through. His shot, they score! And was it kicked in? It went off the leg of Chernomaz. Actually went off the Ranger player, so the goal will stand. It appeared definitely that it was deflected on the way through. Chris Beatti, his first playoff goal from Randy Busick and Rich Chernomaz. Beatti taking the shot from the middle of the blue line with the traffic in front. And the Golden Eagles have a 1-0 lead. Try and work it in the slot once more, but James Ladish able to chip it into center. Eagles break it up into the neutral zone, and Kevin Grant out of Sudbury, the OHL, dumped it into the Ranger zone. Here's James Ladish on right wing. Passing for Mark Jansen's ahead on the right wing board for the newcomer Lacroix. Eagles cleared on right wing for Mark Bureau. At center ice for Martin Samar. Into the Denver zone. Samar closing in. Can't pull the trigger. Then Samar back of the goal trying to feed for Grimson. Rangers break back the other way. On the left wing side is Mark Jansen's, who tips it back of the Salt Lake net with 5:20 remaining first period. A 1-0 Salt Lake lead. Rangers Miller trying to work it in front. Works around Bureau. Softly able to dump it on goal, and Gannett's able to get a piece and hold on. That's
the 3 games, 3 nights. You got to wonder if the Eagles do win tonight. It could be a short opening round series.
Eagles and the Rangers. 1-0. Chris Beatti, his first playoff goal from Randy Busick and Rich Chernomaz at 13:48. Eagles ranked 4th in offense in the IHL during the regular season, scored 369 goals. But they finished tied for second in goals against. At one point, they were 6th in the league. They finished with 294 goals against. And, of course, giving up just 1 meager goal in Game 1. Rangers work in front. Quick shot by the forward Miller, and steered aside by the goaltender Steve Gannett. Here's Miller again at center. Tips it all the way through into the Salt Lake zone. Gannett sets it up for Chris Beatti. Far corner Eagle zone. On right wing for Peter Lappin. Headman for Jim Johansson. Lead pass for Holmes, but Denny Larocque breaks it up in his own defense. Here is the youngster Larocque. At center ice for Simon Wielden. His drop pass is successful, and Laviolette scampers back for the Denver team. At center ice for Paul Broughton. Chips it into the Salt Lake territory, and Rick Lessard has possession. At center ice for the ex-U.S. Olympian Jim Johansson. Right side for Mark Holmes. Holmes into the corner, trying to work Lappin. Kick save, Richter. Rebound, Johansson. Trying to center one. Johansson tied up, spun around, and Laviolette able to dump it all the way to the Salt Lake zone. Steve Gannett racing to the near hash mark to sweep it for Rick Lessard on right wing. Here is Lessard smacking it into the Denver zone. Eagles in a forecheck. Ranheim lets it go for Chernomaz. In front for Busick. His drive. Pad save Richter. The puck rolling on edge. And finally, Richter able to bounce on top. 4:04 left first period. 1-0 Salt Lake. And this is Eagles.
Need service, don't take chances. Toyota trained technicians know your Toyota best. Parts and service are open Saturdays for your convenience because Larry H. Miller Toyota is what a dealer should be. 5800 South State.
Welcome into the Salt Palace, Salt Lake City, Utah. You can tell it's springtime weather up here. I'll tell you, it's Eagles take the possession at center, and here is Busick into the neutral zone. Trying to work it free. Rangers come up with a puck, and Shudra shoots into the defense where Glynn able to leave it for Randy Busick with 3:44 remaining in the opening period. Rangers player on the near side taking a spill, and that's Ron Shudra to the delight of the hometown fans. Eagles.
Courtesy of Brian Glynn.
Yes. Glynn, nice check on the boards. Here's Granheim, back of the Rangers' cage, ferociously trying to dig it free. Centers down to the far hash marks for Dave Ryerson in front for Busick to Granheim, just poked away by Moore. Eagles clear it back of the Rangers' goal, and Richter himself kicks it free for Brent Walter, and the big right-handed shooting forward dumps it all the way into the Salt Lake zone. Goes on goal, thus no icing, but look at this. Chernomaz into the Denver zone, but it's ruled an offside, and it appeared to me an onside play, Joe, because Gannett threw it to the blue line. It looked like a set play, and he need to
look offsides to me, but the net result is the Eagles have a scoring opportunity foiled, and there's nothing that can bring that back.
And here is Grimson trying to work it free. It's tipped in his center with 3 minutes left in the opening period. Bureau trying to work for Samard on left wing for Grimson. Rangers break back. Here's Jansen into the Salt Lake zone. Levin ties him up. Eagles break back. Here's Bureau in his own side trying to work it for Grimson. Rangers back in their own side, and Ferrantino has to go back. There is the 20-year-old Ferrantino, 11th round Ranger pick in 88, trying to clear it. Eagles clear it into the corner. Here's Samar fighting off with Laviolette. They still try and pin it free, and Jansen comes up with it into the Rangers territory. Right side pass for Ladish, and he chips it all the way into the Salt Lake territory. Grant back after it, and icing is the call with 2:22 remaining in the first period.
Made a real effort on Ranheim, keeping Ranheim and guys like Lappin covered. Of course, Tuesday that allowed guys like Samard and Grimson and Bureau to cut loose. But, so far they've put the cuffs on him.
Yeah, Lappin did score the one goal, however, on Tuesday night to continue his scoring streak, but you're right, it was the big guns that were, for the most part, held off. Yanni back in his own side for the Salt Lake team. They have Wheeldon against Johansson. Here is Hayward back the other way into the Denver zone, trying to work it for Johansson, trying to center one, but tipped off, and more plays on left wing. That's center ice for Paul Broughton as the Rangers. Broughton hit hard into center ice. Hayward trying to work it free, and then Broughton keeps the Salt Lake player Biotti down to the ice. He gets back up and cleared into the Rangers zone with 1 minute 37 remaining first period, a 1-0 Salt Lake lead. Michael Hurlbut at center, passing for Simone Gagne, shoots into the Salt Lake defense, and Eagles control up their own defense. Here's Glynn on right wing for Rick Lassard. At center ice, Chernomaz into the neutral zone, passing it free. Eagles break back. Ranheim for Busick. Busick trying to center Chernomaz, turned around in front, tipped away by Denver. And controlling the play is Stefan Brochu. On the left wing side, passing for Simone Gagne into the Salt Lake zone. Eagles try and chip into the near wing with 1 minute 3 remaining in the period. Here's Chernomaz at center with under 1 minute to go in the first stanza. Trying to stick it past the Rangers defense, but Gagne breaks into the Salt Lake territory. He pulls up and drives one off a stick and deflecting wide. Here the Rangers, Lacroix dumps it back of the goal. Eagles come up with it. And Dave Ryerson spins it to center. Laviolette drives it right back in. Eagles Bureau on the boards for Johansson on left wing with 36 seconds to go. At center ice for Rick Hayward, ahead for Bureau. Turned around by Lacroix, and no call. It appeared to be a penalty there. Here's Bureau breaking into the Rangers zone. His wrist shot off of Larac and wide of the target. 20 seconds to go in the period. Here are the Eagles. Johansson trying to dig it free. Johansson turned around at the defense. They still fight for it along the near boards. Rangers able to chip it in the center, and Biotti able to lift it right back to the blue line. 8 seconds left in the period. Eagles break back. Hayward moving in. 3 seconds to go. On left wing, Johansson, but it's tipped away at the defense. The buzzer sounds, signaling the end of the first period. And Joe Barrett, a 1-0 Salt Lake lead. But you can thank Mike Richter for that in the first 5 or 6 minutes. The Eagles dominating play, and Richter comes up big.
Not at all, you know, unlike Tuesday night's first period, when the Eagles generated, 23, 24 shots on goal, you only came out of it with a 1-0 lead. You saw a period here in the first tonight where the Eagles again carried the...
I don't believe this.
Cruise for 10 to 40% below brochure rates. We're Morris. Ask Mr. Boss to travel. Expect the world of us.
KRSP, South Salt Lake, Ogden, Provo. Your station for Salt Lake Golden Eagles hockey.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the second period. Eagles and the Denver Rangers. Eagles having a 1-0 lead and moving from left to right as you look at your KRSP radio dialers. Crimson right on, and a pass save made by Richter. Rangers break back to center. Early on second period, long shot to the Rangers. Chris McRae, steered aside by Gannett. Eagles able to tip it into the Ranger zone. Mike Bureau racing into forecheck. Rangers back of the goal. Ferrantino is tied up. Eagles Samard in the forecheck. They fight for it back of the goal, and the Eagles Bureau trying to whip it in front. Richter is able to pounce on top and hold on. 47, including the regular year, 14-1, a sparkling 2.05 goals against. But in the first period, he didn't have a lot of work. He only faced 4 shots and turned them all aside. Here's play at the left wing point. Biani for Lassard. He drives it just wide. Back of the goal, Lappin for Salt Lake. Trying to dig it free in his backhand. Richter gets a piece loose in front, and it skips to the side of the goal. And finally, Richter is able to pounce on top with 55 seconds gone into the second period. A 1-0 Salt Lake lead. Face-off will come in the Ranger zone. Once again, the NHL scores the regular season an 11-2 loss in Indianapolis and the 5-1 setback on Tuesday. They've been outscored 16-3 in their last 2. Here's play at the point. Drive by Glenn, deflects wide. Eagles, Glenn trying to maneuver in. His shot, steered aside by Richter, loose in front, rebound score. Richter gets a chance on the rebound, and with 1:06 gone, second period, Eagles jump to a 2-0 lead. Glenn,
1:06 second period.
there you hear the announcement to Rich Chernomaz, who scored in the regular season over 100 points. His first playoff goal, Brian Glenn and Paul Ranheim the assist, 106 on a rebound, and Salt Lake to a 2-0 lead. There's playing the Salt Lake end. Steve Gannett sets it up for big Kevin Grant. Rangers, Lanish in the forecheck. Eagles Bureau on the far side trying to dig it free. Bureau is checked, play back of the goal, and Levens plays it for the Golden Eagles. On right wing for Martin Samard, shoots it to center. Rangers clear it right back in. We're going to have a penalty call against the Denver team. Here's Samard on right wing. 6 attackers, Salt Lake. Bureau into the Denver zone. Great shot that is deflected into the corner. Johansson comes up with it. Center Samard in front. Bureau, pass save Richter. And as soon as the Rangers gain possession, Eric Martin is going to call a penalty. And Steve Grimson has some words with McRae into the far corner. 1 minute and 51 seconds gone into the middle period. Chris McRae is not too happy about it on the far wing. Going to get called for the penalty. McRae, a free agent signed by Toronto in October of 1985. One-year pro, and the 3 previous seasons all in the Toronto Maple Leaf organization. 23 years of age from Newmarket, Ontario, and of course was involved in quite a number of mishaps against the Salt Lake team during the regular season. And Ranheim up front. Levinson Biani on the points. The Metcalf ready to drop the puck. Play to the up wing point. Biani hands for Jim Levins. Levins to Biani at the left point. Hands it for Jim Levins. Near hash mark for Randy Busick. Here's Busick for the Golden Eagles. Back to the point for Levins. Hands it free for Biani. Back for Busick into the corner. Down to the right wing point for Jim Levins. Hands it for Busick. One-time shot. And it's a Ranger player in front of the Denver team. Able to clear it all the way down. And Steve Gannett able to play it on left wing for Chris Biani. Here's Biani for the Salt Lake team. Out of his own end in the center. Left wing pass for Jim Levins. Ahead for Rick Hayward closing in his drive. He just slammed it wide. Eagles leading 2-0. Having the power play. Chernomaz back of the goal for Johansson. Cleared to the blue line. Levins holds it in. Trying to feed for Rick Hayward, but brought for Denver. Checked up by Rick Hayward. Hayward for Salt Lake trying to dig it Lake lead. Don't forget, we'll be on the air tomorrow, 7:20. Levens on the right wing point with Chris Biotti, the other forwards, Paul Ranheim, and up front Peter Lappin. Here is Steve Gannett, sets it up for Chris Biotti in his own side of the ice. Here is Biotti for the Eagles. Dick Candles on left wing and passes for Paul Ranheim. Right side pass for Jim Levens into the Denver zone. Works around Stefan Brochu. Ranheim trying to dig it free. Eagle player knocked down behind the net. Wraparound, they score! Paul Ranheim on the wraparound. As there was a group of players paddling back of the goal. Ranheim taking advantage. And on the wraparound shot into the empty side gives Salt Lake a 3-0 lead. And then also a power play goal for the Salt Lake Golden Eagles. And I don't know if they're going to take that goal away. Let's see. Derek Martin skates over to the penalty box area, and perhaps there will have been for Denver killed it off. And now Salt Lake with their second two-man advantage of the hockey game. And they're now discussing for Denver is Jason Moore. Eagles Busick wins the draw, feeds it for Chris Biotti, and he's able to whip it back of the Denver goal. Richter himself plays it on right wing. Lappin trying to dig it free, but a break for the Rangers. Simon Wheeldon with Paul Broughton on his right. Wheeldon in for Paul Broughton. Circling at the top of the circle. Poke check, and the Eagles break back. Here's Chernomaz at center for Busick. Three-man Salt Lake rush. Busick in on goal. He shoots, and a bad save, Richter. Good scoring chance for Salt Lake on the two-man advantage. 11 seconds left in the McRae penalty. Here is Wheeldon's long shot. Stick save by Steve Gannett. Eagles break back into center. Three-man Salt Lake rush. Ranheim down the left wing. In on goal. He shoots, and he wrists it just wide. It ricochets to the near side. McRae out of the penalty box. Teams down the left wing. In on goal. Good glove save by Steve Gannett as he came out, cut down the angle, and was able to glove it and hold on. 4 minutes gone, second period. 2-0 penalty. 16 minutes left, second period. A 2-0 Salt Lake lead. Wheeldon with Gagne up front for the Denver team. Laviolette and Ferrantino on defense to kill it off. Eagles have possession. Ryerson able to stick it for Jim Levens out of his own end. Here's Levens for the Salt Lake team, maneuvering into the neutral zone. Left wing for Rick Lessard. Head down to the Ranger zone. On the right wing side for Bureau. Cutting it on goal. His shot skate saved by Richter. Good shot by Bureau. Here's Levens' shot. Blocked off by Gagne. Mars trying to dig it free on the far side. Levens up to the Rangers defenseman Laviolette on his backhand. Able to dump it into the Salt Lake zone. Steve Gannett himself floats it on left wing for Jim Levens. Lead pass for Lappin. Out of the net himself, Richter to point up the left wing side. Johansson, his former teammate, the University of Wisconsin, trying to feed for Peter Lappin. Rangers break back. Here is Miller in the center ice into the Salt Lake zone. Miller around the defense backhand, just the flex wide. Gannett falls into the goal crease area, and the net has been dislodged in the Salt Lake end. 4:55 gone, second period. A 2-0 Salt Lake postseason play. The Eagles played season play. The Eagles did not lose on home ice. Jim Johansson with Peter Lappin up front for Salt Lake with 17 seconds left in the penalty against the Mark Jansen for interference. He went off at 3:12. Eagles on the left wing side and Hayward able to leave it for Chris Biotti at his own defense. Deep pass ahead for Lappin in the Denver zone. Lappin able to deflect it through for Johansson. His shot. That's the flex wide. 2 seconds left in the penalty. Here's Johansson in front. One time last pass. He scored the rebound. Peter Lappin. And the Golden Eagles have a 3-0 lead. Peter Lappin takes advantage of a rebound, and although not a power play goal, directly a result of that because Salt Lake were a playoff goal from Jim Johansson and Rick Hayward, a 3-0 Salt Lake advantage. So the Eagles, Lappin, who has that 11-game playoff point scoring streak now for Salt Lake, counting the 9 in a row he scored in the series last year. Here the Eagles trying to work it free for Grimson. He can't control the pass across at the left wing point. Levens a drive, but also deflects wide. And the Rangers able to clear to center with Grant, able to wind it right back through into the Denver territory. Here the Rangers, Jansen's in the center ice. Stick handles on right wing into the Salt Lake zone. Poked away by Levens and cleared into the neutral zone. Rangers dump it into the Salt Lake zone, and Levens has to go back. Here's Levens, who played his college hockey in Denver at the University of Denver. The Eagles breaking back. Here's Chernomaz in on goal. Backhand pass save Richter. And Chernomaz was able to beat Peter Laviolette into the Denver zone. Rangers clear it all the way through. Ryerson back after icing is the infraction. 6:16 gone into the second. A 3-0
To convenience, because Larry H. Miller Toyota is what a dealer should be. 5800 South State.
23. And really starting to board on Mike Richter at this particular point. Here's play to the far hash marks. Hayward into the corner for Lappin. Johansson trying to dig it free. He's tied up by Wielden. There's but not out. Hayward holds it and he scores! Rick Hayward from the top of the circle. Richter got a piece and rolled underneath. 6 minutes and 34 seconds gone into the second. It's 4-0 Solik. So Rick Hayward, who was moved from defense to forward, gives Solik a 4-0 lead from Johansson and Lappin at 6:34. Here the Eagles breaking in again. Busick trying to work it free, but it's tipped off at the Rangers defense. Chudra on right wing for Gagne. Eagles break back. Here's Chernomaz at the blue line. His drive, kick save Richter. Eagles Ranheim into the far corner Rangers zone. Moore trying to kick it free. They still freeze it on the far side with 12:57 remaining in the second period. And perhaps Richter, the IHL, only two teams, the Flint Spirits and the Indianapolis Ice, giving up 4 goals. The Rangers on the road this year only won 9 games. They went 9-28-4 during the regular season. So only 9 out of 41 contests did they pick up a victory on the road. They lost the first game here, of course, 5-1. They trail 4-0 here in the second period. Rangers clear, but not off. Bureau steal. Trying to center one. Tipped off the defense. Then he shoots. Kick save. Rebounds the mark. He fires wide as Richter was out of position. Eagles throwing everything except the kitchen sink at the Rangers' goal. Here is Levens, able to toss it back to the net. Brochu for the Rangers plays the puck. Eagles have scored 3 times in the middle period and have dominated players. Kevin Grant throws down a Denver player at center. At the defense, Brochu hits it into the neutral zone, and Grant on the wing for Bureau. In for Lappin, in on goal. He drops it in front. Levens shot is blocked. Rebound Grant. He can't pull the trigger. Now it's in front for Rick Hayward, but finally picked off at the Rangers defense. And finally Denver able to pop it all the way to the Salt Lake zone. It rolls on edge, and Gannett sweeps it for zone defense. Here's Jim Levens on the wing for Peter Lappin. Angles into the Denver zone. Drops it for Hayward, and it's offside with 11:49 remaining in the second period. It's all Salt Lake at this. And then, of course, the last defenseman himself, the goaltender, Mike Richter, not having much of an opportunity in front to have protection. Here's play on the far side, Ranger zone. Johansson outlets for Mark Holmes. Deep pass for Busick into the Denver zone. Gets around Laviolette. In on goal. He shoots. Richter, a spectacular sliding save as Busick was able to work past Laviolette. And the Rangers have possession. Miller shoots to center. Eagles Johansson whirling before spinning for Rick Hayward into the Denver territory. Hayward works around Laviolette trying to center one. The Rangers break back. Laviolette, who's not played in a while with that neck injury, has been burned a couple of times. Here's play on right wing. Holmes trying to work it free. Lassard also trying to work it into the Denver zone. Succeeds, and Hurlbut has to go back. Under 11 minutes remaining, second period, 4-0, Salt Lake. Here is McRae at center. Shoots it near corner Eagle zone. And Lassard able to backhand into center. Here's Busick for Salt Lake, trying to feed for Chernomaz on the left wing pass to feed for Brian Glynn. Charges down the left wing and drives one. Pass save Richter, and he sweeps it for zone defense. 4-0 Salt Lake. 10.5 minutes left, second period. There is play into the neutral zone. Rangers Jansen's poke check. Chernomaz the other way, able to work it for Salt Lake. Drops it for Kevin Grant on left wing for Rick Lassard. He skies it into the Denver zone. Hurlbut back after it. Able to smack it on the boards on left wing. Eagles trying to forecheck. Crimson on the near side, and they freeze it into the Ranger zone. Samard gets a hold of a Ranger player, and the Salt Lake up by 4. Eagles has to restrain themselves, and that's what takes place. 4 of this series will be tomorrow and Saturday night. So we'll be on the air. 7:20. Here's Glenn at the point. Sails one. Glove save made by Richter. It's played into the corner. Gagne for Denver, able to outlet on left wing. Passing into the Salt Lake territory, but Ranheim cuts off the Ranger forward, streaking in Brett Walter, and then